Good evening. Good evening. Thought I'd try one later at night. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Good to see you. I'll just give a few, like a minute for people to come in. I'll small talk until then. So I've got a weekly series that's going to start this week called The Ballerina Maker, which is me. Because I try to think, over the years, what is it that I really do? So I'm going to give you some interesting stuff to think about, by the way, for you special. I'm just small talk, make a little chat right now. Hey, The Ballerina Maker. That's the series. It'll be a weekly series because it occurred to me once that when I see a ballerina, right, a dancer, but a ballerina in particular, I saw her before she ever knew she existed. You know what I mean? Excuse me. Awesome. Thank you, Vicky. I appreciate that. Hannah, thank you. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Has been a passion project for quite some time, a few years, and now I kind of it's storytelling, and it's not ballet is not an easy story to tell, especially the process. A ton of work goes into it ahead of time, and now I'm ready to share it with you. And yeah, I hope you'll really like it because it's just I love doing it, and I can't wait to share it with you. And yeah, let me repeat that last bit that when I see a ballerina, I saw her before she even knew she existed. You know what I mean? So I see potential in a person. I have to be honest with you. I just ate a Snickers, like candy, but there's like a almond one, an almond Snickers, and it's a little bit not a romantic thing to say in the middle of my romantic story. So I see potential, and I see so much potential, and I have to figure out a way to let you see and feel that you are worthy of this. You're worthy of receiving this gift. It's more than training, right? It's way more than that. And and more often than not, throughout the last 20 some odd years, 25 years, one thing has been consistent, and that is that ladies, especially you and girls, there's a feeling of unworthiness, a feeling that you don't deserve or don't possess the attributes to be trained this way. And in my opinion, it's quite the contrary. You do have the attributes. So what I'm going to ask you is to let me make that call for you, if you would. Let me be the judge of that, if you would, because I see tremendous potential in places that maybe not everybody would see it, and so this has kind of been a theme in my life, and this is what this show is based on. It's just, um, Kaylee, how you doing, everybody? Yeah, Vicky, thanks for the comment. Please leave comments. Please leave anything you want. Um, so I would like you to let me be the judge of what your potential is, because that's all I see. If I have anything, any gift at all, you know, from nature, it's just that I see potential in people. And throughout my career in ballet, I tend to see potential in places that it tends to get missed. And now here's the interesting thing about that, and this is something for the teachers out there. If you want to know how to become like a really, really capable teacher, there's one guaranteed way, right? You can study, you can work with, in a big school, in a big company. I've done all of it. And, unworthiness. So, no, the series, it's just going to be on Instagram. But I am teaching classes. By the way, I have a class tomorrow at 6:30 at night, New York time. and we have a little subscription. It's like $5 a month, and then you can always come see me. I'm in Orlando, Florida now, and I have a good relationship with Orlando Ballet and everybody, so it's all really good. Everything's really good. But yeah, no, the series is just going to run on Instagram, TikTok, probably everywhere else, YouTube, Facebook, but we're kind of focusing on Instagram and TikTok right now. By the way, thank you to everybody who's befriending me there, because it's gone up like 1,000 in a few days. So I really appreciate you being friends with me. And for those in the profession, uh, let's put it this way: I've not always made it easy to like me or to be a friend to me, right? Oh, yeah, yeah, okay, you're right. Thanks for keeping thanks for keeping me on track, Hannah. Yeah. Anyway, let me just finish this real quick thing. So if you'll friend me or whatever the young folks say on Instagram, especially TikTok, I'd appreciate that. It kind of just lets me know that you want to be friends, and of course I want to be friends and move forward in friendship, because I haven't always made that easy to support me. And so lately, that's what I'm doing. I'm the guy that's easy to deal with. Okay, what I was going to say about teachers: how do you become? Thank you, Hannah. How do you become a really, really capable teacher, really great teacher in all the aspects? It's exactly this. It's you, you. So let's compare it to like a big professional school, a company. You want to seek out um, the students who have potential, who have attributes, but who get overlooked for whatever reason. And maybe there's something unique about them, and that's really what I'm talking about. Now, this hits close to home because my son, Misha, he has all the attributes that the profession is looking for. He has very pointed feet, he's hypermobile, his proportions are good, long legs, really good looking, way better looking than me. Thank you. Really good looking, wonderful hair, just a very charming guy and everything, right? Hair and everything. He's got everything, right? Really intelligent, works hard, shows up every day, you know. But he's 255 pounds. He's just a hulk of a guy, and growing, and he's been in agony. It's just agony for him to train, and so I've had to train him in a way I've never trained anybody before. Just anyway, we're recording some of this, so I'll share his story with you. It's just unique, everybody grows, everybody goes through adolescence, and it's a difficult time for girls and boys. But he is just such an extreme case that it kind of illustrates, you know, what this is about. So to become a really great teacher, you want to seek out these kinds of people who have potential, who have attributes, but mostly they go overlooked, or um, maybe shied away from, just because there's some complication there. There's something that they're like an anomaly. Like they belong, but they're an anomaly, and maybe sometimes not everyone knows what to do with them. Now, this was the case in Russia too. When I was at the Bolshoi, they just gave me like, see what you can do with this one, see what you can do with that one. And when I was getting my degree, pedagogical degree, same thing. It's like, we don't really know what to do with this dancer. Maybe you can do something. And that's just been the theme of my career. And whatever capabilities I have came from just that, just over and over. And then, of course, Svetlana, she had began with this really terrible health problems, and I was able to cure those, and then just kept on going from there. So I would seek out those, and that's who I seek out. So please let me, make that call for you, if you would, whether or not you're worthy. You are. I'm not supposed to be doing this, for sure. It's only kind of fairly recently, some number of years, that I've been somewhat accepted, as a teacher even. And so look, your story is the boost is the really. Say more about that. Say more about that. The boost is the male perspective layer on the female feminine body. Can you say more about that? I think I know what you mean, and I agree. I think I want to know what you mean, if you want to chat a little bit. Um, yeah, maybe. The fact that I'm a man. Look, there's a nature here working, a biology, right? But a nature of love, yeah, okay, great, Vicky, no problem. It starts. These are recorded videos. They're like episodes, episodes followed by live streams like this, but also live stream in our studio, and then classes, and it's all kind of come together as a whole thing, you know. And then I'd love to meet you guys live. Yeah? Right. Okay. Great. I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. So that's a really good point, by the way. Of yeah, different bodies move in different ways, and we need that, and that's very interesting. But different bodies need different. So turnout is turnout. The fundamentals are the same in the textbook for everybody, but the way in which you apply them, and more importantly, the order in which they go, and it's a day-to-day kind of a thing, So when so I'll see the same dancer, let's say, every day for some amount of time. There are really no 2 days that are exactly the same, right? And for ladies, for example, you have your monthly cycle, and it's a big deal. It really can impact. I don't have to tell you this, but just so you know that I know, it can really, I mean, and not every month is the same, and it really changes how I approach those few days or what have you. Okay, yeah, right. So sometimes the hips will twist, you know, aside from bloating and other things, aside from what you feel, which I can't know unless you tell me. And so I'm very open about these things. By the way, I want to know how you feel so I can make adjustments. But sometimes I can see the right. Okay, right. Okay. So your muscles are more relaxed during. Some are tense. There's twist and turn. So, and then every woman is different. So there's a way in which this is what the art of teaching really is, right? It's a live, living, breathing art form, and we're in it together. And so the way we communicate, the way we feel about each other, feelings are a huge part of this. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. I mean, it's what I live to do. I've got 25 years invested in this, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to sharing it too. Several years in just preparing it, so I can't wait to show you. Yeah, I think you'll really like it. And I hope that it'll be useful too. That you'll pick up some interesting things that will help you. So that starts this week, and we're putting out some little clips I think tomorrow about some things. So yeah, and let me just say one thing that kind of maybe tie this up a little bit, because we're talking it, which is great, by the way. Keep talking to me. Ask me anything you want. I'll literally answer any question you ask. I don't really have boundaries with you. In ballet, it's our own little world, and we can do things. You see, my cat got me twice today. There and then there, fang marks. We have an interesting relationship. Anyway, so let me say one thing that I've learned over all these years, and I tend, unfortunately, some of the more valuable things I've learned in life have come the hard way. Yay, I don't know. Maybe it's just how I am. But so here's something that's useful to you. I think it'll be useful to you to hear that I learned the very hard way, and so hopefully, for what it's worth, you will not. For those of you who don't already know this, and many of you probably do. So there's skills as a teacher or a dancer or a choreographer, right? There's skills, and then there's understanding. There's skills, right? Pedagogical, teaching, dancing, or making choreography, and then there's understanding. I always hyper focused on acquiring the skills, like how do I make, the body work? How do I, all of the technical things. I just kind of focus on that kind of from an engineering point of view. And what I learned the hard way, and I'm grateful for hard lessons, by the way, and I learned this in New York with Mystique Copeland. I learned it. It's been a rough lesson too, but I'm grateful for it. You know what I mean? One, I've learned. Two, I can share it. So you find yourself in the situation, maybe this is a good way to frame it. What I brought to New York was high level skill, great. I can coach, I can teach, I can create choreography. I did all those things. What I didn't have was understanding. Understanding. Understanding the situation, understanding, and what that means is mostly understanding people's feelings. Understanding that that is more relevant than my set of skills. I don't know if you find that interesting or agreeable, but what we need is a marriage of we need a marriage of skill and understanding. And for most of my time in ballet, I've focused almost exclusively on skills and not enough on understanding. And I didn't even recognize, right? Yeah, right. I didn't even recognize that I was not paying attention. And Miss D taught me that. I mean, that whole experience taught me that. So I owe her a great debt, really, for that, for a number of things. But so hopefully I can repay that one day. But I'll carry on, and and this is why I'm sharing these things, so that maybe when you find yourself in a work situation, that we need to marry the skills and the understanding, the broad understanding of the circumstances that you're in. I would stay and listen to you talk. Oh, great. No, I know. I hear that a lot, but it's not. There's no too late in my view. I started very late. As I didn't know anything about teaching until I was probably 30. So it's fine. Will you be saving this live? I wish I could finish watching that. Yeah, it'll. Yes, this will play replay. There'll be a replay of this for sure. No, it'll be saved like right away. So I'll be wrapping up in a moment anyway. But thank you, I appreciate that. What was I saying? Oh, skills and understanding. So you want to understand the broader situation that you're in. Or I was in New York at ABT, our national company. I was around all these big names, like really significant names of people, and I just was kind of like focused on the skills. Let's see, I want to make this and that, and do this and do that, and I just wasn't paying any attention to the fact of how I affected people in the studio mainly, and not that it wasn't pointed out to me, but I just wasn't, just didn't see it. It's just a blind spot. So hopefully this will be useful to some of you. You know what I mean? That we need to have skill for sure. Understanding without skill doesn't really work long term, but skill without understanding doesn't work at all. I mean, really, like if you have understanding, you can acquire skills. Like I can give you the skills. I can give you the skills. That's no problem. But it's but understanding people and how they feel and how they're receiving what you're giving, and what that relationship is, that's where the focus should be. And that's where I focus now. I have the skills, but I kind of really overdid it with the skill, and not enough people, I don't know, maybe I'm on some kind of spectrum I'm not aware of. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, but that's just something I would put out there into the ballet world to consider. And maybe probably more of you, probably almost everybody else is better at that than I am. Probably you're already aware, So I can give you the skills. I'm going to give them to you. These are the things that I'm creating now. But just to be aware of your circumstances and whatnot, and the people and how you affect and how they affect you, and that's really the thing. So, yeah, I think I can wrap it up there. What else? What else? Yes, exactly. And with dance, that's the thing. Well, I mean, obviously we speak to each other, but there's so much going on physically, and with the touch, and with the, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's, yeah, right. Yeah, good point. Good point. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, really, what is dance but to express a depth of feeling for which there are no words? That's really what we're there to do, right? Like emotions so deep that you really don't have words for them that are adequate, right? Yeah, you should come take a class from me. Yeah. Is it possible to turn out over 180 degrees? It's possible to be flexible enough to move your uh, ankles that way, but I wouldn't recommend doing that, even if you are flexible. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I'm just reading a couple of them. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're right. You're completely right. I thought you were a dancer by the way you're talking about it, so that's interesting. Well, if you're in New York, there's definitely there's plenty of opportunities to take dance there. You talking about ballet or something else or everything? Doesn't make a difference. Dancing. So 180-degree turnout. Yeah, it's possible if there's flexibility, but once you get much past that, it's not that useful to you because once you jump or turn or go on point shoes, it'll be hard to sustain that. But if it's a question of just showing flexibility or if there's a reason for it choreographically, it's definitely possible to do it. It's a question of flexibility at that point, though. But turnout, we want it to come from our hips, which is to say our thighs. I actually recorded. This is going to be part of. It'll probably come out tomorrow. A clip of um, stepping into arabesque from a straight leg, not a plie. It's a turnout video. It's a turnout lesson, really, is what that is. So that'll be out tomorrow if you want to check that out. Oh, okay. Yeah. I got a couple things here. Let me do the turnout from the hip. Yeah, I mean it's a flexibility thing. It's just I'm not sure. It depends what you want to do with that turnout. You know what I mean? And then this other comment. One second. Yeah, shy. I know. And anxiety. I know. Yeah. Well, you can take it on. You can take it on. I think there's online classes offered in a variety of types of dance. Maybe do one. Maybe do a Zoom class because you can just you can just watch one. Actually, I've had people do that. Like they pay for a class with me on Zoom and then they just kind of watch, and that's fine. Just maybe watch a couple of classes with somebody and or me. It depends what subject, what kind of dance you want to do, and then maybe join in when you feel comfortable. Join in and do a little bit. Do 20 minutes, do 30 minutes, and then if you feel like you want to keep going, go. You just have to take small. The thing about anxiety, particularly situationally induced anxiety, is just to do a little bit that you have control over access. That's the key. So Zoom classes might be a really good way to do that. If you go to a class physically, like you're there, there's people, everybody's watching each other, there's a lot of energy and vibes, everything. It's a lot to deal with. But if you're on Zoom at home, you can wear what you want, be where you want, and you can kind of do your own thing. And, your environment is set up for you. So I'm a big proponent of Zoom classes now. Before COVID, I never even thought about it, but after I do it all the time. I do it every week now. So, turnout. Yeah. Do you have anything more about turnout? Oh, you would do in person. Okay. Yeah, great. I mean, I always encourage. I really encourage to dance. Yeah, moving is great. Any kind of movement. You got to move your body. You know. Enjoy dance, not fear people. Yeah, judging. Yeah, I know. Now teaching, try to great, Vicky. Good. I'm just catching up. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of one of my mantras as well. Is we got to get anxiety. Yeah, do a Zoom class. Oh, great. Yeah, I have one tomorrow, 6:30. But I have them every week. We make announcements on Instagram and stuff, and I announce them here usually. Yeah, you're welcome. Come whenever you want. Yeah, it's really cool, really fun. It's. I like to see. I'm at the stage of life. Maybe you're seeing this that I just want to have fun with what I'm doing. I enjoy myself. Like I mean, I don't really want to bring up Russia much, given what's going on in the world. I just can't go there. But it's not an easy place to be, and I spent a lot of time there, a lot of years, and a lot of great things about the experience. But it was hard. It was hard. It was hard. The Zoom classes, yeah, it's on. It's pinned, I think, on Instagram, maybe TikTok too. It's pinned right. So after I'm done here, you can just go right. It's pinned, I think, right there. I also have like an intensive, which is more hours, and it's in like a week. So yeah, it's just there. It's just a little. You'll see pictures of whatever me teaching, and then some dates and times. Yeah, yeah, I'd love you to join. Yeah, we have fun. We just have fun, have a good time, and everybody feels good, and that's That's what I'm about these days. I'm not doing stress and anxiety. In fact, begin every class like, let's release the tension in our hips, in our upper bodies, in our necks. We do a little thing. I talk through it. So I try to use my best narrator voice. Working on it. I got to get better at it. But yeah, yeah, I'm definitely done with creating anxiety. I mean, I never intend to do that, but I know I've done that probably a lot in ballet. So I've really focused on that over the last few years. It's like, look, we're going to do this differently. We're just going to, I get a lot done. I work with professionals. I work with adults. I work with everybody, pre-professionals. And I treat everybody the same. We do good work. We get it done, and everybody feels good. You can watch. No, of course you can watch. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like I don't have any like I mean, my nature is like I'm not huge into rules, right? A little bit of a contrarian. So I don't really put a bunch of rules out there. I just go, hey, here's where I'm gonna be at this time, and you come in whatever form you want. You want to try, you can absolutely try it. If you want to watch, you can watch. You want to say hi, you can say hi. Whatever you want to do. There's a bunch of noise in the background. I don't know if you hear that. Anyway, I think that's what I've got for you. I appreciate you all coming. Is there anything else you want to chat about? I love when everybody chats. Okay, so it's like 10 o'clock. It's almost 10 o'clock here. Not late for me. So anyway, thank you so much for talking, and I appreciate everybody. And let me know if I can do anything for you. That's the main thing. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it is. Yeah, good. Yeah, no, man. But can you explain a bit? Whoa. There's stuff coming in. Can you explain a bit on your content with Misty? Why does Misty look so tired? Because she working on her muscles. Okay, yeah, no, I don't mind talking about that. I don't know which video, but there's a bunch of them out. Why does she look tired? She, at that time, she had an extremely busy schedule outside of ballet, right? She was doing a bunch of stuff, and I was with her on a lot of it. She was traveling a lot and doing a lot all at once. And we were preparing her for Swan Lake, and so I was just conditioning her body totally, and she was just exhausted, which is normal. It's normal. So she did a lot of dancing that season. She did a lot of other things. We did her master class together, which took some planning and preparation, and she did. She had media obligations. She had a bunch of stuff. So she just tired for all the reasons one would be tired, right? But I was working her body really. I mean, we were really like she really put in the work physically. So Swan Lake was brilliant as a result. But that was a solid 6 months of daily work. So that's why. It's just normal for ballet. Advice for coaching your own daughter, 15 years old. Okay, how do you separate mom? Good question. Well, I teach my own son, so here we go. Yeah, I'm happy to talk about that. I'm going to be honest with you. That would be interesting actually to get together on Zoom. I mean, not for money or anything, just to work this, just for us to go over this. Do you want to do that? Just send me, if you want, just send me a DM on Instagram, and let's get on Zoom with your daughter and you, and if you want, and let's see what we got. Because I kind of need to see her and you and see what that is. But and I don't know the mother-daughter relationship. I only know father-son because I'm both. I am both. But I don't know if you can separate. And that's not a bad thing actually. Um, I also teach my wife, so that's a whole nother thing, right? But I don't think you can separate it. I'm not sure I would try to separate it. That's a very interesting question. Let me think about that for a minute. Let me think about that for a minute. I don't think it's possible for us to separate the fact that we're the parent and the teacher. In fact, I might embrace the whole. I mean, what I have done with mine is just embrace the whole thing. If you're talking about patience, if you're talking about patience, well, so let's talk about the challenges, right? So you love your child, and teaching is loving, so no problem there. But in realistically, if, the difference between teaching your kid and teaching other kids is that yours can take um, yours can take liberties with your patients that other kids won't, hopefully, right? That's really the thing, is they can, they can be disrespectful maybe, or whatever they feel like they can, or they can push boundaries that another person's kid would not do in a ballet setting, especially. So if that's what we're talking about, yeah, that's a legitimate challenge. And my advice is, quite frankly, to talk about it outside of ballet class. So I would separate maybe that part of it. So that ballet class is like class. And so it's basically compartmentalizing a little bit. But what I have found is that it takes conversations, and it might take a lot of conversations. And even how to have those conversations might take some conversations. You know what I mean? it's 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 the willingness. It's basically the willingness to have conversations that might be a little bit challenging sometimes, to get to the conversation of how you can work with each other in the way that you're talking about. um, it's also on managing expectations, I find. So I tell my son in advance, because he's kind of going through adolescence, like your daughter's going through adolescence, and you've been through it, and I've been through it. And so you just go, okay, look, here's what's likely to happen, something like this. Don't worry about it. I mean, this is what I do. I just say, look, I'll take care of what you need. Some classes are going to be a certain way, some are going to be another way. I might give you a day off. Sometimes I might just do body work one day. I'm definitely going to focus on different things based on what I see when you stand up at the bar. But I think giving them an expectation what they can expect in advance calms the anxiety. If they feel like, they're trying to please you and they don't want to disappoint you, which is normal for kids, right? And they have that worry, number one, anxiety just never helps at all, right? That's just gonna cause what they're worried about to manifest somehow anyway, and then it's hard on you to see them suffering, and you see, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. So I would just say like this: let's set our expectations. This is what you can expect, you know, while you're going through adolescence and what you're going through. They're going to be moody. They're very sensitive. This is normal. And again, to me, moodiness is just sensitivity. uh, I'm sensitive. Art people were sensitive anyway, more so than probably average. And so understanding that, also going, look, you're going to be moody because you're sensitive, and especially for girls in ballet, young ladies, when you start turning out and working with the hips, it brings up feelings. It brings up a lot of feelings. I think you know this as a teacher and a dancer yourself, right? So just letting them know in advance, look, here's what you're likely to feel, and it's okay. We're just going to work through it, you know. And just allowing them the space to experience those things and try. But look, I mean, being a parent is not easy. It's not easy, and you know that. And sometimes, maybe just give yourself a day off. You know what I mean? Like, let's say you have a particularly hard week or a hard day yourself as an adult, aside from your kid. Sometimes I'll just go, I don't have the maybe I don't have the patience that I want to have today. And so taking a day off, for example, um, because dancers worry about that. They worry about, if I take a day off, maybe I'll lose this or that. You're not going to lose anything in one day that you can't make up for anyway. But having a really hard day, because as an adult, as a parent, you're stressed out or whatever, and it ends up getting aimed at the child, that can damage things for some amount of time. I don't know, but it's way better just to take a day off and go, hey, let's go for a walk, let's go get something to eat, let's just do our thing, and just no worries. And again, it's an expectation thing. You just have to tell them, like, it's not going to make any difference taking one day off, or something, or they can stretch or do their own thing a little bit, something like that. Does that help? I don't know. I talked on for like 10 minutes. Oh, there's more. Sorry, apologies. Oh, if you ask me to do it. Oh, no worries. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I like Misty's for the. Yeah, I mean, when we first met with Misty, I'm just responding to comments. There's a lot of them. Misty's physique. Yeah, I found it very interesting too. Yeah, she's beautiful, beautiful lady. And yeah, like I said, I just this is what I do. I just always life just steers me to different interesting things, and I find it interesting, and I love her. You know, she's easy to work with. Actually, there was nothing wrong with her physique at all. Never was. That was all nonsense. You know. Oh, great. Yeah, Andrea. Yeah, yeah. Just send me a direct message. Just hop on Zoom for fun. Just two teachers, and I'll be able to do something. Yeah, yeah. Missy's very smart. Yeah, no, she and I work together really well. There was something going on there that doesn't need words. Do you teach contemporary at all? I used to, contemporary dance. I started in modern dance as a dancer. I just started there just randomly. I got into this by accident, you know, but I don't really anymore. I kind of, I'm like the fundamentals guy, for ballet because it's needed and I just want to be useful, but I should is a good word. Great, 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 good. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with everybody. Being anatomical. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, being anatomical, matter of fact, it does help, but the feelings are always there anyway. So, you know, you really the thing about dancing, and especially for girls and ladies and women, you really. I just look at you as the whole person that you are. I don't really, for me internally, as I'm doing my thing, I don't really compartmentalize anymore. I used to do that. Like I said, I used to focus on just skills and not. But now it's really not. It's overused word holistic. But I don't have any judgment at all. I don't have any like strict boundaries or rules at all. I literally just it's like if I'm writing a song or it just comes out. When I get in the studio with dancer, it just whatever I need appears and whatever they need just appears and I don't question it anymore. I don't at all. I just do and they receive and I see what works and I feel them out and we just do our thing. I don't have any I don't write things down. I don't do anything anymore that is pre-planned. This is the person and where they're at today. They're super happy, they're very sad, they feel relaxed, they feel that regimen. Yeah. Uh, yeah, good, yeah. Holistic is yeah, I mean it is a word. It just gets used and I don't know. But yeah, it's just you're a human being to me and I'm a human being and it's 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 just I just connect with you as a human being and the context is ballet, but if we were somewhere else and met and had a reason to meet, we would connect that way too. Ballet is just my way of connecting to humanity the best I can, and I'm really making an effort to do more, to connect to more of everybody, and hopefully be in the studio soon again because I loved my work in New York. That was a great time. That was great work. So I'd like to do more of that. Okay, if there is, thanks for talking. This has been great. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock. I probably Yeah, I did. I actually my first class was called Contact Improv. I worked with a guy by the name of Scott Wells. I think he's probably still doing it. I imagine in San Francisco. You don't have to. Yeah, no, no, 100%. I would never give up. Actually, interesting thing about training from a physical point of view, but that there's nothing separating the physical and your energy and the way you feel. I usually aim for about 70% of what the person's full capability is because I don't want the dancer to have a rough recovery for the next day. So it's better to be consistent and do hold back than to just plow through and then be crippled and sore. That doesn't really seem to make sense to me. So I always go like 70%, and leave some room for tomorrow. But I know what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. No, you give what you can. Maybe sometimes it'll be 50%. But yeah, you do what you can, and this comes with some experience, right? AI Wonder. No, I don't. We're talking about AI? Or AI? Like AI, AI? I'll look it up. I'll look it up for sure. What is it? It's an app of some kind? I think I have to go. Sorry, guys, I have to. I wish I could stay longer. I do have to go, though. Yeah, I wish I could stay on here. Okay, I gotta run. I'm sorry, but love you guys. Thanks for coming. And yeah, this will be on replay for those who just joined. And I have class tomorrow at 6:30. Thank you, Vicky. Thanks for the chat. I enjoyed it. And Andrea, if you want to send me a message, we'll meet on Zoom. And I have class tomorrow, 6:30 New York time. And there's an intensive coming. It's all pinned, I think. So go check that out if you want. Oh, my pleasure. No problem. Anytime. That's what I'm here for. Yeah, great old improv. Yep, for sure. Learned a lot from that. You learn a lot from that. All right, I got to run. We'll talk to you all very soon and hopefully see some of you very soon. Love you.